we're in the midst of a very crazy time. But before we discuss anything, I'd like there to be a bit of a verbal contract between the viewer and myself. Regardless of the amount or quality of evidence that can be produced by the community, until Valve makes the announcement official, everything discussed in these videos on this channel should be seen as speculative and should be taken with a grain of salt. In the same way that we don't actually know an announcement date for HLX, we don't know anything outside of what we discussed specifically here in this video about codename TF. As long as we're in agreement on that, we can have some fun and discuss what we've found. According to the recent datamine strings that we've gotten in recent CS2 and Dota 2 updates, codename TF has continued development, with the most recent evidence being pushed on October 14th of 2025. Let's go over all of it, as well as some other stuff that's going on in the Team Fortress community in this episode of the whatever I should call this series. I'm not feeling like calling it TF Files. We're going to this time, but if you have a better name, let me know. Here we go. Alright, quick break, and longtime viewers will remember this, because this video is once again sponsored by BOOT.DEV. I worked with them earlier this year, and a bunch of you actually did comment and said that you started learning to code because of that first ad. BOOT.DEV asked if I wanted to run it back, and yeah, absolutely. BOOT.DEV teaches you how to become a back-end developer entirely through hands-on practice. No videos, no fluff, just actual interactive coding challenges that feel a lot more like playing a game than sitting through a lecture. If you ever wanted to understand how the systems behind Team Fortress 2, Steam, or any online game even function, back-end development is where that magic actually happens. Their course path is super structured. You start with the basics and climb your way up, kind of like a progression system, but instead of unlocking a new war paint, you unlock actual career skills. Boot.dev has real people landing jobs after finishing the curriculum. If you missed the first integration, now's a good time to jump in. Use the link in the description to sign up, and Boot.dev will know I sent you. Huge thanks again to Boot.dev for supporting the channel, and let's get back to the news. Codename TF first came on the scene on May 8th, 2025 in the Deadlock Shop update. Within this update, there was a new game feature set added into Source 2. Game feature sets are denoted by a game's codename. A feature set is added when a project is forked off of one of the already available bases within Source 2. It should be stated that tech demos and short experiences that Valve has produced over the last few years, such as Aperture Desk Job or The Lab, were based off of things that already existed, such as Desk Job being based off of the HLVR base. Codename TF, as seen here, is an entirely different codename. And although on the May 8th update for Deadlock, there were no specific features that were attached to the feature set, this did denote that a project internally had started development under the codename TF. We are also waiting on information on the Man vs. Machine update that was announced earlier this year, and we do have some information, which is that it was delayed into 2026. Apparently, they're putting a lot of effort into it. They want it to be a bit larger than what most of us are expecting, and they needed more time to be able to do so. This was confirmed through direct emails with Eric Smith, effectively the only person remaining that is truly the Team Fortress 2 team. We still don't know the scope, we don't know what to expect, but we do know that they want to make sure that they quote-unquote get it right. So we're going to be getting Smithmas first, and that literally will be any day now. But the Man vs. Machine update is still a little ways off. On August 14th, 2025, CS2 got the Raincent update, the ancient, whatever. That is where we got TF projected decals, which was located in the Source 1 import strings. This was actually first found by my colleague Gabe Follower on August 24th, 2025. TF projected decals in this case is a function within the Source 1 importer, converting the decals that are seen within the Source 1 version of Team Fortress into Source 2's own decal mode. XPaw, co-founder of SteamDB, had this to say, quote, "There's a reference to TF project in the Source 1 import code. That means Valve is trying to import Source 1 assets into Source 2. This is still assuming that TF actually means Team Fortress. Here's actually a screenshot of the code for the tool that converts a material with a decal modulate shader if the target mod is TF. On September 16th, about 2 weeks after this import string was found, it was removed from the Counter-Strike update. Valve identified that this had leaked through the reporting and took it away. This removal came along with some other decal-based removals in Counter-Strike 2's version of the Source 2 engine, and that means that we no longer have access to it. Team Fortress 2 Goldrush has launched on Steam. This is one of the first mods to be able to officially launch through the Steam platform following Valve's publication of the source code and SDK of Team Fortress 2, and it's an attempt to recreate the vibes of Team Fortress 2 circa 2008 to 2010. I was around at that time, and the gameplay feels pretty spot on for the most part. The community is definitely a bit different than how it used to be in 2008 to 2010. It's, it's exactly what you think it would be. And so if you want to enjoy it, truly enjoy it, I do recommend playing with, voice turned off if you can. For the best and most recommended experience from myself, I suggest checking out these server IPs specifically listed in the description, as they're just the best quality servers on the platform as far as I can tell. But it's a fun experience, and it does remind me of the soul that I fell in love with 15 plus years ago when I first started playing Team Fortress 2 as a young child. The graphics are definitely better. That's the most striking thing. Old Team Fortress 2 looks supremely better than new Team Fortress 2. And that's even aside like all the hats and skins and cosmetics. Just the game itself looks better. The texture work, the lighting, the models, it just looks a bit better. Link to download this mod and to try it out is down in the description below. Highly recommend it, and I've been playing it a lot lately. On October 14th, 2025, CS2 had another update. The Source 1 import got updated with the ability to import the Funk Respawn Room Visualizer entity, along with improvements to map splitting between prefabs. The Funk Respawn Room Visualizer is a multiplayer entity specifically from Team Fortress 2. This seemingly confirms that TF is referring to Team Fortress, and it's also revealing that they are porting Team Fortress 2 maps into Source 2, with most multiplayer-related entities that are exclusive to Team Fortress 2 now being taken advantage of. This is, effectively, direct confirmation that yes, there's a team at Valve that is, for some reason, working on porting Team Fortress 2 into Source 2. This calls into question the purpose of it. Are they trying to do like a CS2 thing, where they're trying to like almost remaster Team Fortress 2, or is this a sequel? If it's a remaster, then that means that Team Fortress 2, once it is added to the engine, will be receiving like classical amounts of update support. If it's a sequel that's being built in the same way Team Fortress 2 was originally, then again, it's going to be something original. It's going to be a lot further away, but it's also something that it seems there's a team internally at Valve wants to be able to work on consistently. Everyone watching should understand that Team Fortress 2 had a tumultuous development cycle. It had 4 different versions before they released a game. You had the Quake 2 version from before Valve even was a part of Team Fortress 2. You had Valve's Team Fortress. You had Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms. You had Team Fortress 2 Invasion. You had Team Fortress 2 Rome Vision, which was like in between Invasion and Retail, where it was like ancient Rome where aliens were invading. This was a very short-lived concept. And then sometime in 2005, after shipping Half-Life 2, everybody was kind of worn out and didn't want to work on what they were working on at the time, which was TF2 Invasion, a much more complicated game. The consensus was, effectively, let's remake Team Fortress Classic, but stylize the hell out of it and polish it to a mirror shine. That's what we ended up getting. But in the earliest days of that, they effectively were just porting Team Fortress Classic to Source so that they could build on it, polish it, add new things, and change the general style. We have concrete proof of that, being that all of the 2005 files related to Team Fortress 2 that the public has access to are the wrong player scale and are direct ports of Team Fortress Classic maps. It is possible, yet speculative, that this is what the team at Valve is trying to do. Porting over Team Fortress 2 into Source 2 so that they can then build on it, add new things, polish it up, and try and bring it into whatever they see as the modern interpretation of this style of game. However, everything that's going on here, all of these strings and leaks that we found data mining different updates, as well as the few bits of information that rolled out during the announcement of the Valve hardware, being the Steam controller, the Steam frame, and the Steam machine, indicated that what they were working on here was not just a tech demo. There were many people that were speculating that what was being done here, codenamed TF, was a Team Fortress themed tech demo that would launch with one of these pieces of hardware. It doesn't seem like it is. As we stated earlier in the video, demos that were made at Valve were made very quickly, like within the amount of time that we first found a codename TF leak and now. Aperture Desk Job took 7 months. Robot Repair that was found in the lab took even less time and was based almost entirely on imported assets that were built on top of an already existing code-based branch. This is an entirely new branch, and we also seemed to have some confirmation that they weren't making any tech demos for this hardware, at least according to Road to VR. However, the individuals at Road to VR later clarified that they're not entirely sure what Valve was saying, and they could have meant that they were making demos for the hardware, but didn't want to show it off yet. However, the wording of everything is incredibly confusing, and the evidence that we have outside of that official quote from Valve points towards this not being a demo. I got a package from Manco. You ever heard of Prop Fortress? You ever wanted, Trigger Discipline. You ever wanted something like this? Hold on, these are toys. that ever happen to you, fellas? Last year, some people got in contact with me that run a thing called Prop Fortress. This is not a sponsor. I just genuinely was like, oh, you can make me a little bit. When they told me that they could make me this, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna review it, because they did send me some stuff. I'm not getting paid to talk about it. This is not a sponsor. Australian scattergun. You can do that. Australian scattergun. This is a Scottish nesting pill, because it does this. I don't think they sell it like this, but moo. They also sent me this for some reason. Another toy. Look at that. I have 3 spy primaries. We have the kunai. They didn't send me this one. Last year for Christmas, my brother was so excited that he got me a present. Turns out he got me Prop Fortress's 3D printed spy knife, and Prop Fortress sent me this, which is metal. It's not real. Australian disguise kit, which doesn't actually exist. But look at that. Gentlemen. Little itty bitty baby rocket with some class emblems. They started printing the spy revolver in the wrong scale, but then they said screw it and did it anyways. The hammer works, you pull down the hammer and then the chamber comes out. I don't know if they actually sell the jumbo spy, one of a kind mate. Good eye. Do you own a fruit shop? Oh, also, you knuckleheads ain't even worth the effort. These are pretty nice. They're kind of pricey. They're kind of expensive. Some assembly required. The rocket launcher is probably like the biggest assemble. I think it's pretty cool. This is Valve, and even if this is something that is fully playable in like 2 years, they could just choose to shelve it and we'll never see the light of day. That's just something you have to get used to when you're doing this kind of thing. It's not like HLX, which has been in development for at least 5 years, but possibly even 6. This has been in development for at most 2 years, but more than likely less than 1. What's important is that not only is this still in production by at least a few people internally, that production is increasing the capabilities of the Source 1 importer tool into Source 2, specifically in relation to things that are just for Team Fortress 2. So only time will tell. In the short term, we have the MvM update to look forward to. We have the possible return of Poker Night at the inventory due to some schema updates that seem to indicate that the Poker Night items are going to be available again to players in some form. And of course, the Man vs. Machine update, which is going to be happening, by the looks of things, sometime next year. Who knew it was going to be exciting to be a Team Fortress fan again? But obviously something has changed internally, and there is a massive amount of what I would assume is nostalgia for the original Team Fortress 2. There's some younger people at Valve that want to be able to have their chance, their turn to make Team Fortress. Because there are quite a few people who work at Valve nowadays who got their start making stuff for the Team Fortress 2 workshop, and more than likely would love to be able to see the return of the community excitement that surrounds that game. And so they just want their opportunity to make their mark on the franchise. And I'm here for it. But the way things work mean that we might never see it. Just know that we're just discussing stuff that appears to be happening based on internal data mine leaks that come directly from official retail products that Valve has launched. That's how this works. Let's hope it survives the holiday break. This is definitely one of those projects that might not. We'll have to see. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Thank you so much for watching these videos and sticking with me for all this time. I'm a very lucky guy to have this job, and I really appreciate that you're taking some time out of your day to listen to some guy just kind of ramble on about the things he's passionate about. If you want to be active in this community a bit more, we have a Discord server. It's pretty good, you know. It can get toxic and weird, but it, you know, for the most part, it's pretty good, you know. Invite link to that down in the description below. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all next time. Adios.